Well, my friends in Christ, I would suspect that there are many of you at some point in time were golfers, but whether you're a golfer or not, there's a name that many of you would know just from the media, Scottie Scheffler. Scottie Scheffler is 29 years old, and he's counted as the number one golfer in the world. And in fact, 2 weeks ago in Ireland, they had another PGA tournament, and he won it. And the take-home prize for first place was $17 million. And he's been interviewed afterwards by the media. And they were asking him to talk about his success. Aren't you happy to be the greatest golfer in the world right now? And his response was, no, really, being the best golfer in the world doesn't satisfy me. What's important to me is that every day I strive to be the best husband and the best father to my children. That's my priority, not golf. He said, that's what I measure my success. If I can be the best husband and the best father to my son. My friends, whether you agree with his priority or not, and many people don't, what he said left such an impression upon so many people in the world. I mean, you just think of the world's listening to this. And at a time where we really need to be focusing on family, it's just what a wonderful witness it was. My friends, the readings today focus on what are our priorities in life. Whether it's from the book of Ecclesiastes, where the prophet Koheleth talks about it, or from the parable that Jesus gives in the gospel. What are our priorities in life? And for many people, their priority in life, number one priority, is money, or their position, or title, or importance. And it's sad because that's all they have. It doesn't mean that we should not be working hard to provide for our family, to provide a comfortable life for us when we retire. And there's nothing wrong with working hard to be able to give to our children the resources to enjoy a comfortable life too. But for so many people, enough is never enough. There's a story that's told about a grandmother who has 3 grandchildren, and they're all under the age of 5. And one of her friends was visiting her from the South, and she was staying there for a week. And at one point, they were talking about their grandchildren. And so she took out the 3 pictures of her grandchildren. And she said to her friend, this one, Joey, he's 4.5 years old. He's going to be the rich doctor. Mary Jo, she's 3 years old. And she's going to be the rich lawyer. And little Tommy, he's 1 year old. But he's going to become the president of a big bank in the United States. And her friend looked at her and said, I know where your values are. I know who your priorities are. It's riches. Many of you over the time have watched Saturday Night Live. And there was a while ago, there was a man who played the role of Father Guido Sarducci. Do you remember that? Father Guido. And the host asked him, "Do you want to become a Monsignor?" And he said, "Yes." He said, "I want to become a Monsignor or a bishop." And he said, "Why? Why is that so important?" He said, "Well, in Rome, the Monsignor gets the bigger cut of veal at dinner." Titles. There are some priests who really do want to become Monsignors and bishops. And God bless them. My friends, the gospel today just forces us to think about, to reflect on what is important to us. What are our priorities? So Jesus tells the story of the rich man who was a farmer. And he said, there was a rich man whose land produced a bountiful harvest. He asked himself, "What shall I do? For I have no space to store my harvest." Then he said, "This is what I shall do. I shall tear down my barns and build even larger ones. There I will store all my grain and all my goods. And I shall say to myself, now, as for you, you have so many good things stored up for many years. Rest, eat, drink, and be merry." But God said to him, "You fool, this night your life will be demanded of you." The prophet Koheleth, in the book of Ecclesiastes, says, "What profit comes to a person for all the toil and anxiety of heart with which he or she labors under the sun? This also is vanity." What are your priorities? And with the words of Scottie Scheffler 2 weeks ago, being the greatest golfer in the world right now doesn't satisfy me. What is important, what my priority is to be the best husband and the best father to my son. My friends, we all know people who have found themselves in the hospital with a heart attack or some other really bad thing, and they almost die. But they survive. And while they're laying there for days in a hospital bed, they have time to think about what really is important. Why did I do what I did for all these years? When I get out of here, if I do, I will live totally different. You don't have to be waiting to be in the hospital bed to change. What are your priorities in life?